You can feel it before you ever see it. There's a pressure in the air, like the room itself knows a secret it's too terrified to whisper. It's not paranoia, it's perception. It's spiritual intelligence trying to break through your earthly reasoning. You smile, they smile, but something in your spirit doesn't align. Something in their presence doesn't rest easy. You dismiss it, telling yourself you're being judgmental or overly sensitive. But your spirit, which was knit by the hand of God, is picking up a signal. This is not just a person. This is a vessel. And not every vessel pours from the same well. Some are cracked by trauma, some are filled with light, and some carry shadows that move even when they stand still. What you are sensing is not personality, it's presence, and presence reveals influence. The danger is subtle because the darkness does not approach you with fangs bared. It smiles, it flatters, it blends, it can quote scripture and mimic empathy. But beneath that facade is something ancient, cunning, and deeply opposed to your purpose. You think it's a new friend, a kind neighbor, a romantic connection. But what you're really entertaining is a spirit that was sent not by God, but by hell, to delay you, distort you, and if possible, devour you. 1 Peter 5:8 warns, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary the devil prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour." But what if the lion doesn't roar until it's too late? What if the attack comes wrapped in charm? The first sign is confusion. Not ordinary confusion like forgetting your keys or losing your train of thought. This is spiritual confusion. A fog that descends over your clarity the moment you're around them. You begin to question decisions you were once sure of. You lose peace in your sleep. You feel drained in prayer. You wonder if God is even listening. The irony? Before they entered your life, you were stable. You were growing. But since their arrival, your discernment has dulled. And yet, there's no obvious sin, no glaring rebellion. That's what makes it so dangerous. It's covert warfare. Like a parasite, this spirit doesn't destroy the host immediately. It slowly weakens your resistance, and you find yourself stuck in cycles, trying to fix things that were never broken before they came, trying to hold on to peace that only flees when they're near. God is not the author of confusion, 1 Corinthians 14:33. So ask yourself, who? Is the second sign is emotional manipulation masked as empathy. They always seem to know what to say to get you to lower your guard. They appear wounded, misunderstood, deep. They present themselves as victims of spiritual abuse, church hurt, or isolation. And maybe some of that is true, but pay attention. Do they ever actually heal? Or do they feed off sympathy like it's fuel? The spirit in them does not want healing, it wants hosting. It knows that if you see them as broken, you'll offer compassion instead of caution. You'll justify their inconsistencies. You'll stay in connections that God never authorized because you don't want to abandon them. But the truth is, you're being drained. Slowly, steadily, your energy, time, and even spiritual joy is siphoned into a bottomless well of need that never gets filled. Jesus had compassion, yes, but he also had boundaries. He walked away from cities that rejected him. He didn't stay to be drained by every spirit disguised as need, and neither should you. The third sign is atmosphere shift. When they come around, your environment changes. Your home begins to feel tense. Arguments erupt for no reason. Your dreams become darker. Your time with God becomes less fruitful. You're not imagining it. Spiritual atmospheres are real. Ephesians 6:12 reminds you that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, authorities, cosmic powers over this present darkness. If your environment shifts every time they show up, that's not a coincidence, that's spiritual contamination. Their presence is carrying something that disturbs what God is doing in you. They might not even be aware of it, but the Spirit operating through them knows exactly what it's doing. And its goal is to inhabit your peace, occupy your focus, and invade your calling. Ask yourself, has your worship changed since they arrived? Have you become more distracted, more tempted, more drained? That's not just personality, it's warfare. The fourth sign is resistance to spiritual growth. Whenever you attempt to fast, pray, or elevate spiritually, something in your dynamic with this person gets disrupted. They might start a fight, they might suddenly demand your attention, they may pull you into drama or chaos. It feels like every step toward God is met with a distraction tied to them. This is not a coincidence. Spirits can sense elevation. They know when you are about to level up, and the spirit in them feels threatened by the spirit in you. So it tries to tether you to the natural, to keep you entangled in carnal distractions so you won't ascend. You're trying to grow. They're keeping you grounded and not in a good way. Pay attention. You weren't this spiritually dry until you started spending time with them. You weren't this discouraged. And if you confront it, they play the victim or turn it into your fault. This isn't just unhealthy, it's demonic. The fifth and most dangerous sign is spiritual backlash. You notice that the more time you spend with them, the more spiritual attacks you suffer. You have nightmares, anxiety spikes, physical fatigue, and even strange oppression during prayer or worship. It's as if being near them places a spiritual target on your back. That's because their alignment opens doors. When you bond with someone who is carrying an unclean spirit, your proximity becomes a legal access point in the spirit realm. You did not invite the demon, but you tolerated its carrier, and what you tolerate will eventually dominate. This is why Scripture tells you in 2 Corinthians 6:14, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness?" That's not just about dating, it's about every spiritual alliance. If you're yoked to someone who's hosting darkness, you become collateral damage in their warfare.